Okay. Whew, I was able to recover the PowerPoint after almost a moment of panic. It's all good. Gotta love it. Gotta love technology crashes. Let's talk about the last part of this chapter, which is the case studies. So we already did that opening case study, and you guys have watched the forensic files related to ballistic evidence. And that was almost 2 weeks ago, actually, that very first one that you watched after the test y'all took on, what were we talking about before ballistics? Y'all, I can't remember. Okay, whatever. I'm completely drawing a blank. Oh, toxicology. Thank you. Anyway, there was the case study, the forensic files y'all watched 2 weeks ago, where that wife had her husband murdered. Well, first he tried to blow up the car, and then after she watching that movie, No Country for Old Men, which that's a wild movie, but I'm not going to tell you to watch it because it's rated R. So whatever. Anyway, and then she ended up shooting him, and then the bullet from the gun, the way they matched it to know what gun was used, as they went back like 20 years prior, and they found that bullet in the ground that had been used from a domestic dispute where it was fired into the lawn. Anyway, so that was kind of that intro into whole like matching the bullet to the gun. So this is like, remember the first case study is always kind of old. So this was from 1920, so 100 years ago, which is crazy to think that was 100 years ago. My two little Italian friends here, Sacco and Vanzetti. This happened in Massachusetts. They were Italian immigrants in the early 1900s, which apparently, I didn't realize this. I'm sorry, it's late. There was a lot of racism towards the different ethnic groups, which is really kind of interesting. I didn't realize how bad it was. I think I knew, but anyway, a lot of people hated the Italians, hated the Irish. They were kind of hated because they were also anarchists, which is basically people who believe there should like literally be no government. Everybody should just kind of do their own thing. So they were very anti-government protests, and they were involved in a lot of these underground, or not underground, but movements, anti-government movements. So they basically were involved in a holdup of like a payroll holdup, kind of think of like armored truck kind of thing. But this was 100 years ago, and the security guards that were moving the money were killed. And these guys end up being arrested, and in their possession they had guns that matched the caliber and the ammo, the same ammo manufacturer of what was used at the crime. But the kicker on this one, the one piece of evidence, because it was very much disputed, it was like a big deal, and there was a lot of accusations of it being, because they were Italians, and it was kind of, they were being persecuted because they were immigrants, and anyway, so but that they were being wrongly accused because they were anarchists. Anyway, it was a really big deal. But the interesting thing is, apparently the bullets that were used in one of the guns that was used in the crime, the ammo was like so ancient. I don't know what they mean by ancient, but it was like just a really old, unique bullet that they couldn't find bullets like it, like at any ammo shops anywhere within their area to like test fire it. And the only bullets they found that actually matched that gun were in the pockets of Mr. Sacco himself. So it's like, really? You have such rare ammunition, and the only place we can find another bullet just like it is in your pocket. So that kind of would seal the deal for him. So this was one of the very first cases where ballistic evidence or matching bullets was used, and it was like 1920. And then like it wasn't until like 1927 when they were like applying for appeals and things like that the comparison microscope was first invented, and they actually like went back and compared them under a microscope, and they were like, no, he's still guilty. But then there was still appeals and a lot of discussion about whether or not that was really the case. So it's an interesting thing. So for each of the case studies, you'll notice after my videos, I attach 3 videos that I would be showing if we were in class right now. And again, I don't want to embed them in this video because last time I had that problem with copyright issues. So it's a video about the Sacco and Vanzetti case. It's pretty interesting. So please take the time and watch them. I'd be showing them if we were in class. So that's just part of being in class today, is getting all the teaching and watching the videos that kind of supplement it. So I did one for each of the case studies. Okay, so the next case study, this one you guys should be aware of, who Lee Harvey Oswald was. I hope you are. If you're not, I don't know where you've been hiding. Happened right here in Dallas, Texas. Okay, got the whole memorial, JFK Memorial in downtown Dallas. So he was obviously the guy who was found. Well, he wasn't found guilty. He was never tried, but he was accused, and most people believe that he assassinated JFK, John F. Kennedy Jr. here in Dallas. Very terrible. There's the whole Zapruder film that I decided not to attach that video, but you guys could get on YouTube and find all kinds of videos about the JFK case. But anyway, it was November, 22nd, 1963. No, I was not born yet, so I'm not that old. So this is a fun case to discuss in class. And so when we Zoom on Wednesday, I really would love to hear some of y'all's thoughts on the JFK case. If you know much about it, if you kind of take the opportunity to go on a little rabbit trail and watch some other information about it, there's a gazillion videos and documentaries and movies and things about it. So you might even ask your parents, like, what do they think about it? So the whole debate on the JFK case is, was there another shooter in the grassy knoll, or were the shots that were fired that killed JFK from the sixth floor of the depository, which you can go and do. I really recommend you guys do it. If eventually, when all things open, go to the sixth floor depository museum in Dallas. If you really like this kind of stuff, you can do a tour. You can do the ones with the headphones. I'm sorry. Oh goodness. Anyway, lost my train of thought. Anyway, it's a really interesting tour. You can see the area where he was, and it's just cool to actually like be where it actually happened. But as far as ballistics goes, the 3 shots that were fired that were heard, that witnesses heard, the first one they believe just missed. They feel like it landed somewhere in the street. It was never found. The second one went through the back of JFK, came at more and went in his shoulder. Yeah, I think it was his shoulder. Came out, went through the back of Johnson, the vice president, and then it like he was, well, you can't really see me, but anyway, it came out here, went through his hand, and then ended up going down in his leg, because he had, like, think about if you have your arms just sitting here on your lap. And so they recovered that bullet. And then the third shot was the deadly headshot to the back of JFK, where like his head just kind of explodes, and it's kind of disgusting. So there's a lot of debate about where it came from, and did his head snap back and forward, and it went forward, and some people go, yeah, but it went forward and then snapped back. And so some people say it came from this place, whatever. But I did attach a video. You could probably find a video that disputes it. And I'd be curious to know on Wednesday when we Zoom if you have some other things on it. Most of the things I've watched over the years, they are able to prove ballistically that the bullet came from the trajectory of the sixth floor depository. But there are people who adamantly deny that. I wasn't able to find the exact one. I'll keep looking. If I can find it, I'll go ahead and attach it maybe Wednesday, where they recreated it with the fans and got the wind speed, and I couldn't find that one. Anyway, I know it's out there somewhere. But there's been all kinds of recreations of it. And I did include one video that talks a little bit about it. I didn't want to do too many videos and, video you guys out. So it's a good case. You could literally spend weeks talking about it. And then this last one is interesting. I was alive for this one, and I do remember when this one was happening. So this was about 18 years ago. So those of you seniors who are 18, this was when you guys, right around when y'all were born. This was a really kind of scary case, and sad. Well, they're always sad. So it's a case about, this is John Muhammad. He's the older guy. He was, I think, 34 or something like that. He was in his 30s. And Lee Malvo at the time, he was only 17. He was just a kid. And somehow this John Muhammad had kind of taken Lee Malvo under his wing. I did attach a video about this case as well. It's a little bit long, but it tells a little bit more of the backstory. I kind of took this kid under his wing, and he just kind of brainwashed him, unfortunately. He was a veteran, Mohammed. I forget what branch of the military he served in. Anyway, so this was back in, I forget if it was October. I feel like it was in the fall of 2002. In the Washington, D.C. area, in a matter of 3 weeks, I think it was about 3 weeks, 10 people were killed and 3 were wounded. And these dudes were just snipers. Okay, this was a sniper incident. They had high-powered rifle, and they would basically hide. They got this old car, and they made like a hole in the trunk of the car, and one of them would hide in the trunk with the barrel of the gun just sticking out the hole, and the other one was the lookout, and they would just pick people at random. Walmart parking lot, gas station, just random people out pumping gas, out. One woman was at a gas station using the vacuum. Somebody was just in I'm pretty sure that was a Walmart parking lot. I can't remember all of them. And so that was, they just decided they were going to go out and kill random people. Nothing against them, right? So it was a very scary time. As far as the ballistics go in these cases, they were able to obviously get cartridges. They found cartridges at the crime scene, the places where the car had been parked. They found bullet fragments was really the biggest thing. They were either found at the crime scene or in the victims. So, and I couldn't find the really good video that I really wanted to show that I usually show each year that talks about how they found the fragments from the bullets, and they were able to, even though they were so I guess destroyed, the bullets as they went through the victims' bodies, they were still able to match the striations, and that's how they started connecting, and they've realized, okay, this is the same person using the same gun going around killing people. And that's when it really got scary, because they're like, this person's literally going around killing random people. All of these are connected. And they all match the same caliber firearm, a .223, which was a rifle. Anyway, so eventually, I can't remember how they finally figured out who these guys are got them as possible suspects, but when they did arrest them, they literally found all the ballistic evidence they needed in the car. The rifle was in the car, which they were able to match. So the bullets that they had recovered from crime scenes or out of some of the victims. They found additional ammunition and a bunch of other stuff. They also found their fingerprints at some of the crime scenes. And they also found some of their DNA at some of the crime scenes. So that was kind of interesting. It doesn't really go into the detail because this is specifically about ballistics, but the video that I attached is really just more of an overview of the case. But this was you ask your parents about this one. I guarantee you they remember the DC snipers killings. Everybody was terrified because you're afraid to go out and pump gas because they were just picking people off at random, and they were hidden so you couldn't see them. So anyway, pretty scary stuff. So these are the 3 case studies. They're all in the back of your book. So all back here. Oops. You can read more about them yourself. You're going to, let's see here. I think that's the last slide. Yeah. Okay, let me exit out of this. There are, I have them open here. No, never mind. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So what you're going to be doing, where's our, when my thing crashed, my Google Classroom is no longer open. Well, poo-poo. Okay. I'm not going to reopen it right now. Y'all know where it is. So Google Classroom, there's for the assignment today, you'll see assignment that you need to do the chapter 18 review. It's not technically due till Wednesday evening, but if you do it between now and Wednesday afternoon when we do our Zoom, you can make sure that you have the correct answers, because I'm not going to go slow. I'm going to go over the answers pretty quickly. So go ahead and work on that review. You'll be just like we've done a couple of other times when I've had you do these review questions at the back of the chapter. You're going to write out the whole question. You can put true or false out to the side. If it's false, I would either put in parentheses how to make it true, or change the part that's, false and make it true. Whatever works best for you, so long as you have, if it's a false statement, you know how to change it to make it true. Okay. Same thing with these. You're going to write which of the following statements is true, and then you're only going to write down the answers. So don't just write number 8, B. That's not going to help you when it comes time to do an open notes test, right? So have the actual facts written down. you have to type it into a Google document anyway. So just type the whole sentence. And then you're going to be doing, yes, 12. And then you get to this. You can skip 13 because we already did that when the very intro to chapter 18 2 weeks ago. I had you guys answer these questions about the Sandra Deist case. No, yeah. And then you'll do 14, but then you don't have to do 15. So just 12, 1 through 12, and then 14. Okay, and you'll answer that in a Google Doc. And then I think that's it for today. I don't know. I can't open my Google Classroom right now. But that's it as far as talking about chapter 18. There's a lot of really good stuff if you look back. Go back one more page. Actually, yeah, no, career and forensic, one more page. Sorry, bear with me. It's always a good idea too, as you are finishing up these chapters, to look at the summaries at the back, especially if you're preparing for like a test or so. These summaries right here, a lot of these might even be answers or words or information that can help you answer the questions, the review questions. These summaries are really, really good. Okay, that's all I've got for you for today. And so be sure and get started on your review. If you just get it cranked out, then Wednesday, all you got to do is be ready. All you got to do is check your answers really quickly, and then we're going to do a Kahoot to go over them. So I wouldn't wait till the last minute to do it, because the Kahoot's not going to really help you, and the review session on Wednesday together is not going to really help you if you're just thinking about the questions for the first time. So be smart, get it done, and I'll see y'all on Wednesday. Bye.